Might just be an evening like no other for Hughie Fury. All the fights this evening have had this slightly curious musical interlude before we get underway.
You received your instructions.
Here's Earl Brown.
I need you to obey my commands at all times and protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves if you want. All right.
So the question here for Hughie Fury is all about the approach. We know he's got the skill, but having failed against Joseph Parker, having not shown enough aggression, having not thrown enough punches, I think his attitude right from the start and his style, Richie, will be very telling.
I think it will, Dave. At the same time here, that's it. That's what he's got to do, bring that right hand into play. Pulev, we know, he's a very cagey boxer, is Kubrat Pulev. He edges his way in, he looks for opportunities and openings. Hughie Fury's got to keep him off balance with that jab, but occasionally just send that right hand home. Gain Kubrat Pulev's respect. And that's what he's got to do early on in this contest as Hughie Fury.
It's already interesting that he's let 3 now right hands go in the opening minute of the fight. It's a good, lively start, this, from Hughie Fury, trying to dominate right from the outset. Looked a different fighter against Sam Sexton, and you can talk all you like about levels, but after being struck down for so much of his career with that debilitating illness, that horrendous form of acne, and he says it drained him so badly, and he's a different kind of athlete now. Will we see that progression here tonight?
It's a fair start from Hughie Fury at the moment with that jab, keeping his opponent just off balance a little bit. Pulev is just looking to get in, walking his way forward, but he's struggling probably to get past that jab, and that's when, you know, Fury brings that right hand over as well. He's got the height and reach, remember, Hughie Fury, and he's using it quite well to his advantage here. I think Pulev is just struggling to actually close the gap down, and that's mainly because Fury is busy with the jab and the odd right hand's coming across. So not a bad start at this point for Fury.
Yeah, good movement here from Fury, trying to frustrate Pulev, trying to keep him off balance and trying to win the fight convincingly. General feeling is he'll have to do that if it should go to the scorecards. Said that he'd seen plenty of flaws in Pulev, watching him endlessly on that iPad in the gym in Bolton. Now the real thing standing in front of him. First bit of aggression really there from Pulev. Hasn't got that jab going at all yet. Kubrat Pulev, another right hand from Fury, and Pulev responds.
He's a Fury round.
11 more of those, and he might get the nod at the end of the night. Did Pulev just use that first round to have a look? Be surprised if he doesn't try and establish his own jab in this second round.
Well, Pulev's got to be more positive. In that first round, he waited far too long. It was probably a scouting mission, as you've said, just having a look at his opponents. But he didn't do enough to win the round for me. He had a good last 20 seconds or so, but that doesn't win the round. I thought Fury landed a couple of good right hands, kept his man off balance. And as long as he keeps throwing that jab, Dave, and just keeps Pulev off balance and then brings the right hand across, Pulev's got problems to close that gap down. He's got to quicken his feet up. Head movement to avoid the shot coming in, most certainly. But at this stage, Fury's not doing too bad. like in the Parker fight, just occasionally push the opponent back also. That's the important thing.
Despite losing to Joseph Parker, he's never really been in a crisis, never had a big drama in his career. Hughie Fury goes about his business very calmly and coolly. What he mustn't do is go back into his shell here and try and nick rounds. That's not going to win in the fight.
I think, Dave, Fury's got to keep the punches straight. I think Pulev will soon suss out that, you know, he'll have a better chance probably on the inside. But as long as those punches are long and straight from Fury and he keeps a gap, keeps his distance, that's the important thing here. He doesn't need Pulev working on the inside, making it scrappy. Keep the punches nice and long, keep that gap between Fury and Pulev. That's what he's got to concentrate on, Hughie Fury.
One of the biggest surprises in the fight against Klitschko was that Pulev tried to box at range and not get up close and not work on the inside where he's very good. Much scrappier second round this. A few words there from Earl Brown. Good solid left jab from Pulev, and that is a weapon, that left hand, not just the jab.
Oh,
and is that a cut above the left eye of Hughie Fury?
Might just be a cut there, left eye.
Remember, he had the stitch above his eye a couple of weeks ago. They wondered if he could even take part in it, but he is here. But that looks to me to be the same cut, and it looks bad here for Hughie Fury. End of round two.
A little lapse in concentration, Dave, probably there with that jab from Pulev. The lapse in concentration from Hughie Fury just allows his opponent just to come in and catches him with a straight shot. It's a good punch, and that's what's done the damage there.
You can see Mick Hennessy there in the background, looked like a worried man. And Fury's going for it here. I think he feels he has to. Not sure if that cut's going to last out, and Pulev with a little smile at him there.
Well, what's happened here, obviously, the corner have told him it's probably a bad cut. It's over the eye, the blood's going to run into the eye. He's got to up the work rate and tempo here. And he's going for it, Hughie Fury, and that's what he's got to do. It's a bad injury, that is.
And Pulev knows, and Pulev's targeting it. And he'll try and tie up Fury here. Can't go rushing in, though, here, Fury. Good work to the body. And the irony is, this is the aggressive Hughie Fury that everyone wanted to see, but he's doing it for fairly desperate reasons with that cut opened up above the left eye. It's on the eyelid, in fact.
Still just got to get his timing right and just try and time the attacks and try and the counter punching. That's what he's got to do, and bring Pulev on to a couple of these big punches, especially the right hand. Trigger the attack off, a little feint with the left hand, adjust the feet and bring him onto that right hand counter. But this is a better start to the round now from Fury. He's going for it here.
Fury the bigger man by a couple of inches. The reach advantage, but now hampered by that serious injury on the left eyelid. And look at the crowd here at the Arena Armeij.
What's important here, Dave, for Fury? He's just got to keep the jab going and just sort of measure that gap, so he doesn't get too close, doesn't need to be tied up on the inside, so he's got to work more with his jab, measure that distance and gap, and then bring the right hand into play. He doesn't want to get too close to Fury. Just got to keep measuring all the time with that left hand there, and then set that right hand up. There you go.
Pulev looks unperturbed and is coming straight back at Fury. You have to feel Fury's probably done enough to win this round. But you can't help but look at that left eye and worry for his future in this fight.
As the heads come close, you see, Dave, the heads are rubbing, and that could worsen the cut also. But I think that's a good round for Fury.
Well, they're having a good look. The doctors looked at that left eye. Kerry Kays is doing his best with it.
Seconds out, round 4.
Problem is, Richie, he can't protect it. The cut's so deep, and Pulev will find a way, and just has to be sensible with his attacks here.
Has to be sensible, and he has to keep a gap and distance, like we've said right from the start. But Pulev, I think, he's struggling to actually close that gap down. But when they come together there, you see, that's where Hughie Fury has just got to be a little bit more sensible with his jab and just to adjust his feet and not let Pulev close that gap down.
Caught Fury there, though, Pulev, as he went on the attack, and Pulev feels that he can bring things to a close. I mentioned that Fury had never been in a crisis in his career. Well, he is now.
Occasionally now, Hughie Fury's got to move off to his right a little bit more, just caught with the jab there. But Pulev, if you watch the way he's boxing, he's trying to set up that right hand. He knows that Fury's got a very low lead hand, left hand, so he's trying to get that right hand over to worsen that cut. So Fury, for me, he has got to move to the right a little bit more and move away from that right hand.
Fury swinging in that right hand. Just needs some success of his own. Needs to make a dent here in Pulev. Left jab there from Fury was sharp. But it was that straight left from Pulev that caused the damage. Open that damage on the left eyelid of Hughie Fury as Pulev just pulls down the head. Closing 15 seconds of round 4. Pulev again, getting up close to Fury, trying to bully him in there.
Getting fairly scrappy in there now. Fury just hasn't quite connected with that right hand flush. Scrappy on the inside. That could cause the cut to open a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more clever on the inside, Hughie Fury.
By the way, we're not in control of these pictures, this coverage. So apologies if at times it feels like directors trying to win an Oscar rather than cover a fight. There'll be a few more cutaways of Bulgarian soap stars to endure, but our eyes are focused on the action in the ring, and Hughie Fury's acquitting himself well. If you're just with us, opened up a cut on his left eyelid in the second round, and he has to try and make sure now that that doesn't define the fight. It's a big ask.
That's what he's going to watch there, Dave, the way he walked in there and carelessly dips his head a little bit too low. I'll tell you a punch as well he's got to throw here that would catch Pulev for me. He's a right uppercut. As Pulev comes in and closes that gap down, whip the right uppercut through the middle.
Fury in that corner. Looking to punch down there, looking to catch Pulev as he came in with his head low. Again, Hughie Fury throwing that right hand. You certainly can't argue that he hasn't let his punches go tonight. The left hand again. It's a left hand that finished off Alexander Ustinov and Dimitrenko as well. It's an underrated weapon that for Kubrat Pulev.
I think the wrong option here. The Fury keeps going into this corner. He's trying to bring him onto the shot though, isn't he? That's what he's trying to do, but his accuracy is just letting him down there, Hughie Fury. Will understand the tactic. Just backing up into the corner, wants his opponent to come forward and trying to bring him onto that right hand, but it's just not happening.
Had a little look over there to his father, Peter, in the corner. Pulev now on the front foot. Still say that all these rounds so far have been pretty hard to score.
Made a couple of wrong choices there, Hughie Fury, in my opinion anyway, of staying in that corner as long as he did, trying to bring Pulev onto that big right hand. Didn't really happen, gets caught a couple of times, and for me, probably Pulev got that round.
So round 6. And is Kubrat Pulev just starting to really dominate here and do enough to win these rounds, and that might end up being the key. That left eye of Hughie Fury survives. All of Pulev's ring savvy will come into play here.
I think Fury's corner have done a good job on the eye. It's on the eyelid, that cut is. And if it runs into the eye, obviously that can impair the vision of Hughie Fury, and they've stemmed the blood, they've stopped it.
Just a sense that Pulev's starting to find a rhythm here. Just finding that jab, renowned punch for him. And that would be a worry, because Fury has to upset that rhythm. The right cross there, Pulev, as Fury backed into the corner.
Yeah, it's been a fairly scrappy contest up to now, hasn't it? But Pulev, he's just finding his way now, starting to work out Hughie Fury. He's landing some better shots. Fury just got to improve his accuracy with his right hand. As his accuracy in time, you see, there was an example, just missed the target over the top. We know he's got the power. He's just got to get the timing and the accuracy right as Pulev comes forward.
He does have 11 knockouts on his record. Hughie Fury took out Sam Sexton impressively, but this is another level altogether. Pulev with 13 knockouts in his 25 wins. Good use of that left hand again there from Pulev. If this settles into a pattern, then you'd worry for Hughie Fury. Remember the feeling at the start from everyone is he has to win this convincingly to win, and he's not doing that.
Pulev is just starting to get a grip, isn't he, on the contest. Better work from him again, just edging closer and closer, pushing Fury back.
That was a right uppercut for the first time there from Fury.
That's the shot we've been speaking about. I mean, that right uppercut.
And back into the corner he goes, happy to box on the back foot here. Doubles up that jab there, Fury, as we head towards the end of round 6. Brighter at the end of the round from him.
Just losing his way a little bit, Dave, here is Hughie Fury. Just the accuracy, just eluding him a little bit. Pulev just starting to get a grip on the contest, working Fury out. Not a lot in it, though, not at all.
Well, there's Richie's scorecard. Got Pulev up by a round. 58-57 to this point. Into the second half of the fight. It's a little bit of strut back in the step there of Hughie Fury at the start of this 7th round. He's not feeling sorry for himself with that cut. Oh, again, Pulev finding a way through there. He's trying to conserve energy here, Pulev, isn't he? He's being quite clever, fighting in bursts. Aware that although he's not shot-worn, he's 13 years Hughie Fury senior.
He's clever in his approach, Pulev, Dave. The way he comes forward, he just doesn't go launching in there from too far out. He edges, he waits for the opportunities. Look, he keeps taking a back step occasionally. Clever man. I'd just like to see Hughie Fury push Pulev back occasionally. Put him under pressure.
Kubrat Pulev is proving to be a trickier puzzle to solve than Hughie Fury might have believed. Two fighting men, they really are. Pulev, again, happy, I think, that Fury wants to retreat and try and counterpunch. Oh, left hook there from Pulev, his best punch of the fight so far. Good left jab in response from Fury. And every time Pulev gets up close, he's using that head. Looking to make that cut all the more hurtful, really, for Fury.
probably Pulev is doing the better eye-catching work. Just occasionally catches Fury with the better, cleaner punch. That may just be the difference. There's that left hook. Fury's doing his bit as well, but his punches aren't so clean. A little bit scrappy occasionally. Still opts to go back onto the ropes and into the corner. Pulev a little bit naughty there with that shot.
Judges are from France, from Canada and from the USA. While of course they're entirely impartial and will do their best to be, you just feel in this arena Fury would have to put daylight, serious daylight, between himself and Pulev to get a decision.
Needs a good round here, does Fury. That's better now then, right on cue, that's a great shot.
And he's got Pulev just rocking a little bit there. That was a serious right hand. Pulev smiling. But there's the shot that got his attention.
He's still recovering. He's just got to jump on him here, Fury. Got to go for him. He still won't be recovered.
He's waiting for Pulev to commit again. Punch down there with the right hook as Pulev overbalanced. First signs of worry in the Pulev camp.
Oh, that's helping Pulev, that is. Giving him the rest there, looks talking, that is helping a man at this fitness level, Dave, to give him like 5 to 10 seconds. You know, it's a lifetime for a boxer at this fitness level. After 5-10 seconds, they can be recovered if no shots are coming in on them.
But it will give Fury great encouragement and give Pulev food for thought. Pulev, remember, out of action for 18 months. Routine win against Kevin Johnson. Can Fury test his fitness? All that hard work in the hills around Bolton. Can he outlast Pulev down the stretch here? Straight left hand again there from Pulev. Again, Fury looked for the uppercut there. Been a good round this from Hughie Fury.
He just needs to finish it nice and strong now. Give him a good right hand, that's what he needs. But yeah, it has been a good round for Fury. One clean shot really had Pulev in trouble.
Pulev, though, roared on by his people here in Sofia. Fury again just waiting for Pulev to commit. Very distinct tactic. How is Pulev's fitness here? And how is Fury's eye? They've done a great job. Kerry Case has done a fantastic job on that.
Yes, because it did look a bad injury, didn't it? But there's that right hand. The real first one, he's really landed clean and had Pulev in all sorts of trouble. Great sustained pressure and sustained attack. Pulev comes back at the end of the round. Gets a helping hand from the referee, who gave him a good 10 seconds off while he was talking, but that was the shot. Best shot for Fury during this contest so far.
He'd been looking for it all night and been missing with it. There's Richie's scorecard. And scorecards could end up being very important. Still got Pulev a round up. Pulev starting with a very solid jab there. 4 rounds remaining in Sofia. It's on a knife edge.
Well, that's your problem, isn't it? I mean, we're in Bulgaria at the end of the day, and I think a lot of the rounds have been close, but you just don't know how the judges are going to go.
Another good right hand there from Fury, just a glancing blow though, and Pulev responding. The uppercut there from Pulev, got a big roar from the crowd, but that's one of your problems in terms of judging and scoring these fights in the arena. Big noise every time the home fighter lands, but not when Fury does.
Just telegraphing that right hand a little bit there, Fury. He's just got to use his jab a little bit more. He's got to disguise that punch. That punch is his best shot, that straight right hand, but he's just telegraphing it a little bit here, Fury. So he needs to use his jab a little bit more, disguise the right hand, and get the timing right as Pulev comes forward. But Pulev very cagey, very clever. But when Fury does land that punch, and if he can bring Pulev on, sorry, when Fury does land the shot, if he can bring Pulev onto it, he'll have a better chance then of doing some damage with it.
And the towel seemingly was dropped into the ring there. Just over a minute left in round 9. We're going to get the views of David Haye and Derek Chisora at the end of this round, see how they see it. It's been a good response this from Pulev after being hurt in the previous round. A fight of ebbs and flows. That ramrod lead left hand from Pulev is a big friend of his in here tonight. Fury just off balance there. Just wonder if he was hurt by one of those short left hands that Pulev threw. Pulev senses that Fury's in trouble. Big round this for Kubrat Pulev. Well, we can get the views of the guys in the studio now with Paul.
Well, until certainly truth time for this young man, isn't it? He's in deep here, it would seem. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks, Paul. He's in very deep. And he needs to find some strength, find a big shot. As Derek Chisora said, something to turn the tide. Do you want him to look at the eye? No, just getting some grease off the eye.
I think there were just signs, Dave, in that last round that Hughie Fury just getting a little bit ragged. He's just losing his shape a little bit. He's got to get back behind that jab. Try and stand up taller. Like David Haye said, straight right hand, get the timing right. There it is again, you see, it's thrown as a bent arm shot there, and there's no accuracy in it.
But every time Fury's thrown that right hand, Pulev's managed to just take away the leverage from it and get close and make it impossible for Fury to land anything with power, apart from that one time when he caught Pulev. Pulev the aggressor again here. Again clever and canny and fighting in bursts and doing enough.
But the more confident Pulev gets, the way he's coming forward, he's winning this contest now. But this is when he could be open to that right hand from Fury. This is when he's got to concentrate, Hughie Fury, and bring him onto that shot. But it's going all Pulev's way at the moment, and he's getting very confident. He's coming over his front foot a lot more. He senses victory. But this is when he could walk onto a shot.
He's not searching for a miracle, Hughie Fury, but at least he needs to win these last 3 rounds, and even that might not be enough.
He's tired a little bit more than his opponent here, as Hughie Fury, which I thought he'd be a little bit fresher than Pulev. The longer the fight went on, I wanted Fury, but he gets caught with a good left hand there, straight left. And it's all Pulev now.
That left hand that caused slight problem, only a slight one for Vladimir Klitschko, but it's been such a power shot for him as Fury briefly switches to southpaw. I mentioned Pulev isn't shot-worn. He's still fresh at the age of 37. And right now he looks fresher than Fury in there. Two rounds to go after this one. And what does Hughie Fury have left?
Well, you can see the confidence from Pulev, not even bothering to sit down. But this was a good round for him, good straight left there, pouring on the pressure. And there, Hughie Fury just missing the target there, backs up onto the ropes. Well, that was a clear Pulev round.
Hughie Fury needs to dig deeper than he's ever dug here. Flicking out that jab, but surely it's the right hand that is his only hope, really. Good shot that time from Fury, got the distance right.
There you go, there's still a danger there.
Then that left from Pulev again, snaps back the head of Fury.
Unfortunately for Fury, the times that he has landed that right hand, it's when Pulev has been moving away from him. That's why he's just got to get the timing right, Dave, and bring him onto it. Because when he has tried to throw that shot as Pulev's coming forward, he's always missed the target. But if he could just catch him with it, who knows?
Both landed at the same time there. Fury with that almost pouring right uppercut that time. Again, encouraging Pulev onto him, trying to counterpunch the counterpuncher here. He's got 4.5 minutes left in the fight to make something happen.
Yeah, the basics are just failing Fury now. Hands very, very low. They've been low all the contest. He hasn't bothered to keep that left hand up to protect the eye. Just making little mistakes, keeps going back onto the ropes. But he's very tired now, Hughie Fury.
Right hand again there from Fury as Pulev just lunged in a little bit. But it's not enough. You don't feel it's enough. Need that aggression now. Needs to find some energy now. Pulev certainly looking to freshen. Fury just starting to fade here. I think we're getting into the territory now, Richie, where he needs a knockout, at least a knockdown, but probably a knockout here in round 12.
Yeah, he's probably needed a knockout last couple of rounds, to be quite honest. Occasionally you see him throw a right hand that hits the target, but he's getting more and more ragged. He's very, very tired, Hughie Fury, and this is obviously it's encouraging Pulev to come forward. He's opted to go onto the ropes and in the corners. But it's all Pulev, to be quite honest.
Seconds out, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the final round.
12th and final round. I think Kubrat Pulev has surprised a few people here, not necessarily in the way that he's done it, but in what he's clearly got left in the tank. Injury denied him that shot at Anthony Joshua, pectoral muscle, and he might get it now. He'll be mandatory for the IBF title if he stays out of trouble in round 12 and gets the decision as we will expect. Unless Hughie Fury can turn it round in dramatic fashion. Now we're seeing the fighting man. Fury just swinging in punches. It is, remember, heavyweight boxing. One punch can change it.
Started the contest very well, Hughie Fury, pushed Pulev back occasionally, but as the contest has wore on, Pulev has got to grips with it most certainly, and he's just taken over, hasn't he? And Hughie Fury just hasn't been able to really sustain the attacks and push his opponent back.
Pulev still looking for the finish there. It's never quite sparked into life, this fight. It's been entertaining. It's been interesting to watch Pulev at work. Fury may be a bit disappointing. Affected by that cut, he was caught by another big right hand from Pulev there. I just wonder if you're being kind, sustaining that cut, opening it up so early, just threw Fury off his game plan and off his rhythm, and he's never quite been able to get it back. And Pulev has just done what he does very well.
Well, after the cut, he really came out, didn't he, Hughie Fury, as if he even really put Pulev under a little bit of pressure. But since then, he seemed to have tired, and that's the end of the contest.
Pulev feels that he's won it. The crowd agrees. And I'm sure that most of you at home will have Kubrat Pulev ahead, whatever it is you want to happen, but a fair reading of it an impartial judgment of it. Pulev clearly ahead, surely, Richie.
I think so. Brave challenge from this fella. But it probably wasn't enough. The cut certainly played its part because he changed tactics from the cut. Really went for it at one point. But then as the rounds went on, he just got more and more tired, Hughie Fury. Kept going into the corners and onto the ropes. That invited pressure. And Pulev just generally got to grips with it a little bit better. And probably the difference was the quality of the punching throughout the contest was a little bit better from Pulev. Fury missing the target. Bent arm shots when they should have been straight. The occasional good straight right hand that did hit the target. I think Pulev certainly felt. But as it's gone on, Pulev has just... He's been a little bit dominant towards the end of the contest there, I thought.
Well, he certainly wasn't fazed by the atmosphere. Came here and tried to give his best. Maybe it's just the night when Kubrat Pulev was too good for him. Pulev looked like he really enjoyed being back in the ring against quality opposition and doing his thing in front of his people. And he might just have a massive fight coming in April. As for Hughie Fury, we'll see what the verdict is, of course, but where will it be next for him, I wonder, after falling short against Parker and now probably against Pulev. The age of 24, there's still a long and glittering road ahead of him, no question about that. The ring announcer is back, I think, with a verdict. One of the more populated rings I've seen at the end of a fight, but here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing action, we go to the judges' scorecards. Here are the score totals. Vincent Dupas had it 117 to 111. Richard Green, 118 to 110. Pasquale Procopio, 115 to 113. In favor of your winner by unanimous decision. And now the IBF #1 contender, Kubrat the Cobra Pulev.
There can be no complaints. One of the judges had it 115, 113, but all three were in favor by 6 rounds, by 8 rounds, and by those 2 rounds of Kubrat Pulev. He gets the win. He gets the shot at the IBF title, and for Hughie Fury, no hard luck stories, but now he'll have to rebuild.
Thank you, Dave and Richie. No complaints and surely no arguments from any of us here either. Pulev out for 18 months, remember, probably producing one of the best performances of his entire career tonight. And from Fury's perspective, the truth of it is, at top level, that's 2 defeats in a row against Parker and now tonight in Bulgaria. More from Derek Chisora and David Haye in just a moment or two, but it is a very disappointing outcome. We'll reflect the best and the worst of it when we come back.